Right now, the Dane County landfill is filling up, and the county says it only has a few years left. Their plans for the future.
And game 2 is in the books, and the Bucks again come out on top. A live report from Fiserv Forum straight ahead.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, the weather. Today was really our first chance for severe weather of the season.
But right now, the biggest threat appears to have passed. We have team coverage, Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and Amy Reed, who's live in the city of Dodgeville in Iowa County, where a storm rolled through earlier tonight.
Well, we start with Gary's in the Weather Center with a look at our first alert forecast.
Eric and Charlotte, timing is everything, and those storms came through right around sunset or a little bit after when the atmosphere is starting to settle down, so that limited the severe weather threat through much of our viewing area, except for areas of southwestern Wisconsin. High-resolution Doppler radar right now shows the strongest thunderstorms through the southeastern portion of Dodge County, east of Beaver Dam, and those are heading in a northeasterly direction. You can see how quickly those storms have rolled on through. A few showers, a couple of isolated thunderstorms remain into southern Dane County, but those will be out of here by midnight. Low temperatures this morning started out mild. Here in Madison, we're at 46. To our southwest, temperatures stayed around 50, and high temperatures today varied quite widely across our viewing area. We eventually made it up to 61 in Madison, but to our south, temperatures were around 70 degrees from Mineral Point through Platteville, Monroe, and Janesville. And to the north, temperatures stayed in the 40s north of Wisconsin Dells. That's what fueled those thunderstorms. And right now, we still see that temperature contrast. We also see some cooler air starting to move through southeastern Minnesota. So a wind shift will bring in cooler weather for tomorrow. Look for cloudy skies overnight, the threat for showers and thunderstorms ending by about midnight, and then look for just a chance of showers tomorrow. High temperature only reaching 52 degrees, so a lot different than today. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. The storm rolled through southwestern Wisconsin.
A little earlier, and Amy Reed has been keeping an eye on things down in Dodgeville, and she joins us now live. Amy?
This has been our home base tonight, but we also made the trek 18 miles toward Highland just as that rain was coming in. Now, on our drive down there, we saw a lot of heavy rain and a lot of lightning. We didn't see any hail, which emergency management in Iowa County was most concerned with tonight. But in Grant County, just south of Platteville, they had reports of quarter-sized hail. Luckily, the dispatch center there told me they didn't have anyone with any damage from that hail, and that's the same in Iowa County. Dispatch here also said no damage from this storm. Now, this storm kicks off that new type of weather that we see this time of year with hail and tornado risk. And Iowa County Emergency Management said now is a good time to make sure that you have a plan for the rest of the storms like this that we'll see.
Pay attention. Make sure that you know that you're in the know, and make sure that you have a plan. So if you're going to be out and about doing family things or whatever, that when something does happen, you know what you're going to do, where you're going to go, how you're going to get safe, that kind of thing.
To stay informed, he suggested you invest in a weather radio. He also suggested signing up online for their emergency alerts, and that's just on the Iowa County website under alerts. Now, you can also stay tuned here. We'll be sure to give you updates on storms like this as they progress through the summer.
Always important to be prepared this time of the year. Amy Reed in Iowa County. Amy, thank you.
Madison police are investigating reports of shots fired on the west side. This was the scene about an hour ago near the intersection of Raymond Road and Leland Drive. Madison police say multiple people called in saying they heard 5 to 6 gunshots fired in that area. No injuries have been reported, but they say a white Nissan with 4 people inside were seen leaving before police got there. Next tonight, the school district of Beloit is declining to comment today after allegations of a male student sexually assaulting female students on a school-sponsored field trip. A report filed with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in Florida shows that in early April, several incidents of assault occurred between one male suspect and multiple female victims who were on a field trip to Florida for school. The Beloit Daily News reports that Orange County officials sent that report to Beloit police because they didn't believe these events happened in their jurisdiction. Beloit police say they did not get that report and are not involved in an investigation. A Monona man was sentenced to 22.5 years in prison today. Coleman Chung was behind a series of violent attacks against women on the UW campus. Over the course of 4 days in the fall of 2017, Chung sexually assaulted a woman, tried stealing from another, and then attempted to kidnap a third. A survivor speaking in court today pleaded with the judge to give Chung a heavier sentence. He will serve 15 years extended supervision after his release.
New at 10, the woman accused of sexually assaulting an elderly man with a screwdriver and burning him with a cigarette lighter has been found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. According to our partners at the Janesville Gazette, 30-year-old Precious Bailey was committed to a Department of Health Services facility for a maximum of 40 years. She can petition to be released earlier. According to a complaint, she told investigators she had a vision through tarot cards, believing the man was molesting her child. OSHA is investigating a workplace injury today after a worker fell from a fourth-floor construction site. The 24-year-old man said to be in critical condition after this fall at a construction site. It was on De Loretto Avenue, just off Portage Road on the far east side of Madison. An officer arrived to find the man barely breathing with many injuries, including a head wound. The officer provided life-saving measures until paramedics arrived. The Dane County landfill is only 15 years away now from being full.
So what can you do to help conserve the space for as long as possible? Jamie Perez joins us with the answer and what the future of the landfill looks like.
Right, so the landfill has the capacity to store about 10 million cubic yards of waste. Right now, they're at 8 million. They have two options when it's full. One is to expand their space, which could take a few years. The other is to buy a new location somewhere else. Now, eventually, they will have to choose one of those options, but there is something that we can all do right now to help buy them some time.
You might not believe me if I said this landfill is almost at full capacity. It just looks like a bunch of dirt with scattered garbage, right? Well, there's 30 feet worth of garbage below the surface across this entire area, and this landfill will be full in less than 15 years.
If suddenly waste volumes drop off, it could last for much longer. If you have higher waste volumes because the economy is doing really well, or your customers, you bring in new contracts or new customers and a lot more volume, it could fill up more quickly.
John Welch is looking for your help in buying some time before his department has to spend millions to get more space to hold all this waste.
Anything that we can do to divert more waste from a landfill, increase recycling, increase waste diversion is good for everyone.
He says there's still a lot of people who are throwing things away that don't belong in the trash.
But in terms of actual recyclables, we see a lot of cardboard, a lot of plastic bottles, a lot of paper coming in the waste load still.
So why is this happening? Well, a lot of people don't know what their community landfill accepts for recyclables. And I'll be the first to admit, even here at our workplace, not all of us know what's okay to recycle.
What do you think the numbers at the bottom of recyclables means?
I know it has something to do with how, like, if you can recycle it or not, but I don't know what each individual number means.
The number at the bottom of recyclables. I do not know.
Can you tell me what the numbers at the bottom of recyclables means?
Well,
what kind of plastic they are and which ones can and cannot be recycled.
A simple Google search for your local Recyclopedia will tell you what your community landfill and recycling centers will accept. Here in Dane County, if it has a number 1 through 7 at the bottom, you can recycle it.
The simplest answer is take a look at your local recycling website or give them a call and ask them what can go in the bin and what can't.
Now, every community's recycling center will accept something different. Some accept numbers 1 through 3, or maybe 2, 3, and 5. It all really depends on where you live, so make sure to check what's accepted in your area. It saves resources, energy, and it could buy us a lot more time and space for the Dane County landfill.
So know the numbers, essentially.
Learn something new every day, right?
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. Governor Tony Evers says the state is looking to rework the deal with Foxconn since the scope of the project, he says, has clearly been downsized.
Clearly, the deal that was struck is no longer in play, and so we will be working with individuals at Foxconn and, of course, with WEDC to figure out how a new set of parameters should be negotiated.
Republican Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald responding, saying, quote, if the state is willing to renege on its commitment to Foxconn and open up a contract without agreement by both parties, then what guarantee can Wisconsin make to any other company that wants to expand here?
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has directed a new tactical guided weapons firing test and praised the weapon's capabilities. The report from the country's state media did not say what kind of weapon was tested nor its potential range. This is the first weapons test since denuclearization talks stalled. The U.S. Department of Defense says no missile launch was detected. Attorney General William Barr will hold a press conference at the Justice Department tomorrow morning at 8:30 local time ahead of the release of the redacted Mueller report. In a 4-page summary of the long-awaited report, Barr said the special counsel found no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia in 2016. But he also noted the report does not exonerate the president, particularly on the question of obstruction of justice. News 3 Now will carry the entire conference tomorrow morning and stream it on our website and Facebook page.
Trump administration once again cracking down on Cuba, ordering new restrictions on U.S. citizens wanting to travel there and reimposing limits on the amount of money that Cuban Americans can send to relatives in Cuba. Today, National Security Advisor John Bolton said the measures will help steer money away from the Cuban regime and its military and security services. The Milwaukee Bucks are rolling.
They face the Detroit Pistons tonight in Game 2 of the playoffs. News 3 Now Sports' Kevin Lewis is live at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Hi, Kevin.
Hello. Well, this had a totally different feel from Game 1. The Bucks were down 59-58 at the half, but the Deer outscored the Pistons 35-17 in the third quarter to build a lead that they never gave back. Giannis Antetokounmpo did Giannis things for the Bucks, had 26 points, 12 rebounds, but he didn't do it by himself because he didn't have to, and he's done it before. The supporting cast played lead roles tonight, getting 27 points from Eric Bledsoe, the Bled Show, and 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks off the bench from Pat Connaughton. The Bucks take a commanding 2-0 series lead. The series moves to Detroit on Saturday night. And coming up in sports, we'll have more highlights and post-game reaction as the Deer get off to the start you want to, winning your first 2 in the first round of the playoffs. At the Fiserv Forum, I'm Kevin Lewis. News 3 Now Sports.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Still ahead tonight, the UW Police Department is honoring ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
And the university unveiling its newest Hyperloop pod. We'll tell you what it is and how it may be the future of transportation. That's next.
Welcome back. High-speed ground travel could soon become a reality thanks to some UW students.
The UW Badger Loop team unveiled its latest design of a high-speed pod designed to travel up to 100 miles per hour. The pod travels in a hyperloop, a train rail surrounded by a vacuum tube, so there isn't any air resistance. The students say it could become the future of transportation as the pods get more advanced over the years.
Every year we keep refining our design more and more, figuring out like little kinks, figuring out what works and what doesn't work for all of our mechanical systems, all of our electrical systems and everything. And this pod is really the peak of that.
The students will enter the pod in the 4th annual SpaceX Hyperloop competition this summer, going head-to-head with more than a dozen other university-led teams from around the world. The judging only based on one thing: maximum speed. A new tap house is now open on Madison's Near East Side. Oso Brewing, which is based in Plover, opened its new location today. It's called the Mad House, located on East Washington Avenue in the new Marling building along the O'Hara River, and it is dog-friendly as well.
The UWPD hosted their annual awards ceremony tonight, presenting awards to a number of department personnel and community members. But 4 award recipients got quite the surprise. Isabella Tassi, Stacey Haney, and Peter Cummings helped save a man's life who was having a heart attack outside the Kohl Center. Officer Jake Lepper received an award also for saving a man having a heart attack in a different incident. Here's the best part, though. When they received their awards, they found out the men they saved were there to thank them.
These are people, I understand they're community people, doing their thing, willing to give everything. I can't thank them enough.
He says his doctors told him he was dead when he first collapsed, but thanks to complete strangers, he recovered after spending 9 weeks in the hospital.
Turning now to weather, Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with another look at what happened today and what we can expect as we move on to the end of the weekend.
Yeah, we were fortunate. The storms fired up in Iowa. That's where most of the severe weather reports were. As they crossed the Mississippi River, they started to weaken a little bit, and they produced a little bit of hail, but that was pretty much about it. In fact, if you look at the local storm reports received by the National Weather Service, 1 in our viewing area, and that's near Platteville. That was near Tennyson, reported of hail of about 1 inch in diameter, which is about the size of between a nickel and a quarter. So those thunderstorms, though, moved eastward very rapidly over the last 3 hours, and you can see now they're pushing through Dodge County, the northern portion of Jefferson County, pretty much be out of our viewing area within about the next half hour or so. Because they were moving so quickly, they didn't put down a lot of rain. Most areas picked up between, maybe 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch, a couple of places around 1/2 inch of rain, and then there were gaps in between where those heavier cells were, where very little rain fell. Farther to the northwest, more general rains overnight and through the morning and early afternoon hours dumped over 2 inches of rain. Some spots 3 to 4 inches of rain up toward Hudson in far west central Wisconsin. There were flash flood warnings there, and about 1/2 inch to 1 inch as far southeast as about Rochester, Minnesota, and then across our viewing area the amounts were a lot less as that warm front lifted to the north. As we look at the live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison, just cloudy out there right now. It might be a little bit of fog as well. High today 61. We made that shortly after 6 o'clock this evening. Low temperature 46. Right now we're sitting at 58 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. The air is calm, but eventually we'll see a wind shift around to a west and northwesterly direction, and that'll bring in cooler air for tomorrow. Out in the Pacific Ocean, the next storm system coming in at a more lower latitude, so the jet stream kind of taking a more southerly path, and that storm system will bypass us. So we're looking for relatively quiet weather over the next week or so. Our storm system moving on through. Some cool air showers back behind it could affect us for tomorrow, but then notice the clearing across the western part of the country. That'll be in here, much of that in time for the Easter holiday weekend. The cold front moving through far western Wisconsin, the warm front just to the north of Madison right now. Temperatures this afternoon, high temperatures upper 40s in northern Wisconsin, in the mid to upper 70s into the Chicago area, and low 80s farther to the south, so a big temperature contrast. Right now it's still 58 in Madison, but notice that cooling to our north and west. That's what we'll be looking at for tomorrow, with high temperatures probably in the lower 50s. The cold front heading off to the east, the wind shift around to the northwest. We'll see clouds for the day tomorrow, maybe a couple of showers, and then after that we should clear out and see some sunshine for Friday, bringing temperatures back into the upper 50s. Overnight, look for a low temperature of about 48 degrees. The showers and thunderstorms will gradually come to an end. Look for a high temperature tomorrow of about 52. A slight chance of a shower, but most of the day will just be kind of cloudy and cool. On future track, You can see the shower and thunderstorm activity heading off to the north and east. Low temperatures upper 40s. Not much of a temperature rise tomorrow thanks to the clouds. Highs only in the lower 50s. Tomorrow night, the clouds start to break up toward morning with low temperatures in the upper 30s, and then more sunshine on Friday, high temperatures in the upper 50s. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures back up into the mid-60s on Saturday and near 70 on Easter Sunday. Slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm Easter Sunday afternoon. Otherwise, next week still looking pretty nice temperatures, generally between about 60 and 65. Some rain chances toward the end of the week.
All right, Gary, thank you.
You're welcome.
And we'll go back live to Milwaukee to hear from the Bucks after another win over the Pistons in the playoffs tonight. The story coming up in sports.
Game 2 of the Bucks-Pistons playoff series at Fiserv Forum looked a lot different than the Bucks blowout in Game 1 Sunday. The Pistons actually led by 1 at halftime, but in the second half, Giannis Antetokounmpo took over right from the start. Another double-double for Giannis, 26 points, 12 rebounds, and watch this block on former Bucks teammate Thon Maker. Beautiful. And Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe do their share again. Middleton has 24, Bledsoe a career playoff high 27. Bucks go up 2-0. The final is Bucks 120, Pistons 99. Blake Griffin didn't play for the Pistons again, but for the second straight game, he got a technical foul sitting on the bench. The series goes to Detroit for Game 3. That's Saturday night at 7. Let's go now to Fiserv Forum, where Kevin Lewis joins us live with our post-game report.
Disclaimer, I am not comparing the careers of Michael Jordan and Giannis Antetokounmpo, but the philosophy back in the day was let Michael Jordan get his and stop the supporting cast. Well, Detroit let Giannis get his, but they didn't stop the supporting cast, and it was the supporting cast that buried the Pistons tonight.
They beat us to loose balls in the first half, beat us on the boards. But to hold them to one offensive rebound and 40 points in the second half, I think that's what we want. That's what we expect. Yeah, I thought Eric was big time. It did feel like, his plays and his defense were very timely. And that's kind of, what he's done for us a lot this year. He has big impact plays.
And the Bucks try to take a commanding 3-0 lead when the series shifts to Detroit on Saturday, and they'll try to pick up their first playoff road win since they beat Toronto in 2017. At the Fiserv Forum, I'm Kevin Lewis, News 3 Now Sports.
All right, Kevin, safe travels home tonight. The NFL released its 2019 regular season schedule tonight. The Packers will have 5 of their first 7 games at home, and they'll be featured in primetime games quite a bit, too. Starts with the opener at Chicago's Thursday, September 5th. They'll have another Thursday game at home against the Eagles in September. There's a Monday night and Sunday night game in October with the rematch against the Vikings, December 23rd at U.S. Bank Stadium. That's going to be a Monday night game. We have the entire schedule on our website, channel3000.com. At Miller Park, Brewer pitcher Corbin Burns can really throw a ball hard, but when it's fast and straight, major league hitters can hit it out really fast. The Cardinals' Marcell Ozuna hit his 4th homer in 4 games. Chris Carpenter also went deep. Cardinals went up 5-0. Big hit of the day for the Brewers comes from Aaron Wilkerson. He's a pitcher, but he hit that 2-run homer to make it interesting. But still, the Cardinals held on to win and salvage a game of the 3-game series. Final score, Cardinals 6, Brewers 3. Brewers still won the series 2-1. Tomorrow night, they'll welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers to Miller Park to open a 4-game weekend series. In Miami, the Cubs beat the Marlins 6-0 tonight. And Joe Thomas will be the Grand Marshal of this year's Crazy Legs Classic. Thomas played football at Wisconsin in the mid-2000s. He was first-team All-American in 2006. He then played 11 seasons for the NFL's Cleveland Browns. He'll be a first-ballot Hall of Famer when he's eligible in 4 years. And Joe Thomas is the Grand Marshal of the 38th Crazy Legs Classic. And we'll be right back.
Gary's here with the final check.
Well, things settle down right now. All the thunderstorm activity is east of our viewing area into areas up around Sheboygan and out over central Lake Michigan, moving away from us. Temperatures are still mild. We're at 58 in Madison, but notice to the west, those temperatures start to fall off. La Crosse already down to 48 degrees as a cold front has passed through there. And we'll be looking for a high temperature of about 52 for tomorrow. It'll be cloudy, chance for a shower, but nice for Friday, Saturday. Easter Sunday should be nice. Just a slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Slight chance of a shower on Monday and Tuesday, and then dry weather Wednesday, Thursday, and next chance of rain probably Friday and Saturday of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Charlotte, enjoy your time off. You can be off for a little bit.
I will.
See you when you get back. Thanks for joining us at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you here tomorrow.